This week, Pope Francis surprises pilgrims with visits to St. Peter's Square. Pope Francis meets King Charles and Queen Camilla. The world's oldest living bishop celebrates 103 years. Catholic Medical Association warns against assisted suicide bill. I'm Katie Nelson, and this is your weekly Catholic Catch-Up. In a surprise appearance last Sunday, Pope Francis delighted pilgrims gathered in St. Peter's Square during the Jubilee of the Sick and Healthcare Workers. The Holy Father was not scheduled for any official engagements. However, as Mass drew to a close, Pope Francis made his way through the congregation, arriving at the altar. Wearing nasal cannulas to assist his breathing, the Pope greeted the faithful with a few heartfelt words. "Have a good Sunday, thank you all." Pilgrims responded with enthusiastic applause and joyous cries of "Viva il Papa." After the brief encounter, Pope Francis returned to his residence at Casa Santa Marta. The Holy See Press Office also confirmed that before his appearance, the Pope had received the Sacrament of Reconciliation, spent time in prayer at St. Peter's Basilica, and passed through the Holy Door, fulfilling the steps required to obtain a plenary indulgence, together with the many pilgrims visiting for this special Jubilee weekend. Officials report that the Pope's health continues to improve and that he remains in good spirits following his recent hospital stay. A moving moment for all those present and for Catholics around the world. In a moving encounter on Wednesday at the Vatican, Pope Francis welcomed King Charles and Queen Camilla for a private meeting at the Casa Santa Marta residence. The audience came on a day filled with personal significance for the royal couple, the 20th anniversary of their marriage and the 4th anniversary of the death of King Charles' father, Prince Philip of Edinburgh. Despite his ongoing recovery from illness, Pope Francis warmly greeted their Majesties, offering his congratulations on their wedding anniversary and exchanging kind words of prayer and support for one another's health. The Vatican statement on Wednesday evening reflected the spirit of the meeting, a simple but profound exchange of goodwill, faith, and mutual encouragement between two leaders called to serve. Their visit was initially planned months ago during the Pope's hospitalisation, but had been postponed due to the Holy Father's delicate health. During their 3-day visit to Rome, the King and Queen also met with the Italian President and Prime Minister. King Charles made history by becoming the first British monarch to address the Italian Parliament. But for Catholics around the world, today's quiet encounter at the Vatican stands as a moment of grace. A moment where service, faith and compassion met, not in grand ceremonies, but in a simple room between a Pope who leads the Universal Church and a King who serves as Supreme Governor of the Church of England. At 103 years of age, Bishop Jose of Mexico stands as the world's oldest living bishop, and enduring witness to the history of the Catholic Church. Bishop Jose was born in 1922 in a small town in Mexico. He was ordained a priest in 1946 and 15 years later was appointed by Pope John XXIII as the first bishop of a newly created diocese in Mexico. Bishop Jose is also one of the only 4 surviving bishops who participated in the Second Vatican Council, a historic event that helped shape the church we know today. Now living in quiet retirement, he is lovingly cared for by the diocesan sisters of Our Lady of the Angels. Though he no longer grants interviews or receives many visitors, the sisters share that he remains strong and joyful, drawing daily strength from the celebration of Mass. The sisters say the bishop continues to encourage them with a simple but powerful message: live joyfully, be generous with your life, live in peace, and always ask God for his strength. The UK Catholic Medical Association has issued a strong statement opposing a bill that seeks to legalise assisted suicide, raising concerns about its impact on both patients and healthcare professionals. In a statement released on the 7th of April, the CMA reaffirmed its commitment to upholding the moral teachings of the Catholic Church in healthcare and expressed its fundamental opposition to the assisted dying bill. The bill aims to allow terminally ill adults in England and Wales to request assistance from a doctor to end their own lives. The CMA warns that this legislation could undermine patient safety and trust in the healthcare system. The group emphasised that, despite safeguards intended to protect patients, the proposed bill is in fact a direct attack on innocent human life. It also raised concerns that such a law could lead vulnerable individuals to fear for their safety within medical services. Although the bill includes provisions to ensure that the decision to end one's life is voluntary and informed, the CMA argues that it would be difficult, if not impossible, to ensure these safeguards are strictly observed. They pointed to evidence from countries where assisted suicide has been legalised, where abuse of regulations is common. The CMA also highlighted the ethical dilemmas for healthcare professionals, saying the bill would force them to act in a way that contradicts the centuries-old principle of do no harm upheld by the Hippocratic Oath. Rather than supporting assisted suicide, the CMA is calling for a significant investment in palliative care services, which they believe should be available to all patients 24 hours a day across the UK. They stress that high-quality care in a person's final stages of life is as important as at any other time. The debate over the assisted dying bill is ongoing, with the CMA steadfast in its belief that every human life must be respected and protected. I'm Katie Nelson, thank you for joining us on BCTV.